let's do the fit check. If everyone can do a little stand up, we'll do a little fit check, guys.
Should we do one at a time or all at once?
All of us at the same time. In Flam Life, I'm going to stand up too, you know, so we get a little fit. I think the guys want to see the girls first on this side. All right, and if we can do maybe like, I think a little spin, if we can get everyone to do little spins, you know.
Tiny.
Look at the shoes.
Did everyone have a chance to do a little spin? A little spinaroo? Wait, did we see Allie? Did we get?
You want to see the sacred
cow?
Yeah,
let's see the sacred cow.
The sacred cow. Okay. There you go.
Oh, nice. All right.
All right.
And Allie actually also agreed to name her daughter Brianna.
Yes,
Legally binding. I think that's a legally binding contract.
You think so?
I think so. No, I'm kidding.
It can be.
I'm kidding. Actually, how much does someone have to? No, I'm kidding. Kidding. Okay, let's move along. So, you're married.
Yes.
You've heard kind of, you've heard from some of the girls. Any thoughts or?
I mean, I have a lot of thoughts, but it's like, how much do women often care when I speak? So if you see me like writing stuff down, it's because I come on these podcasts a lot, and then women will tell me one thing, and then I'll like ask them a question, or I'll make a point about something that they said, and then they'll be like, I never said that. And so I was like, forget this, like I'm just gonna bring a notebook. But it's mostly also to get to know you guys and commit some things to memory. That way I can be functional in the conversation. But my thoughts are, do any of you want to get married? You do?
Yeah.
You do?
I don't think I do.
Yeah, you might not.
Yeah.
You want to get married? You want to get married? You want to get married? Yeah, I mean, so like, I don't know if you guys are aware of the statistics of modern dating, right? So these are the projections per JP Morgan, like the bank. They are projecting that by 2030, 45% of women from the ages of 25 to 44 are going to be single. And then right now in the UK, 50.1% of women are childless by age 30. So I just think that it's going to be hard for a lot of us out here to get married these days. And I think on top of that, if you're not married by age 30 as a woman, it's really unlikely that you would get married. And I do understand that there are, they're called like the promiscuous 10%. So basically there's people at sociosexual extremes that just like to smash and pass, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and they're good and they're content and they're happy. But the majority of women, the majority of people are not that way. And more specifically, the majority of women are long-term mating strategists, which means I would say that probably most of you, the men that you choose to sleep with outside of like work, the men that you choose to sleep with, you would probably be more open to dating them, right? So I just find a lot of our methods these days that women are using to secure men that they want and are attracted to, they really fall flat, like they don't really work, is what I'm seeing. So, and it's just like hard stuff to dig through. But those are my thoughts so far.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why do you think that if a woman isn't married by the time she's 30, that it's unlikely that she will?
No, it's not that I think that. Like, that's what the statistics show.
That's what the statistics show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can be an exception to the rule, right? That it would just requires being able to move around the norm. That's kind of how that goes. Because to be frank, like most men are sexless, and well, most men aren't in relationships either. So if you guys wanted to, you probably could get married tomorrow to like just some guy. But it's like, are you going to be attracted to him? That's a different question. Because I have a YouTube channel where I try to help women to get married and stay married, and honestly, like, I think it's a huge issue to where women often compromise on having an attractive man for having a stable man because he's a good boy, he follows the rules, he pays the bills. But then I get a lot of DMs about infidelity in marriage too. Infidelity is pretty rampant in marriage, so that's why I try to promote to women to try to use their, I guess, like your looks, like while you're still hot and sexy, to try to get like that top guy that's gonna do right by you. Mm-hmm.
Was that an audible sip? Okay.
Sorry, Brian. I would have timed it different. My bad.
Oh, no worries. By the way, Andrew, thank you for the 20 gifted. So, and remind me what your name is again? Raisha. Allie, I mean, you kind of heard kind of something, like, do you have any thoughts on her situation?
I mean, it's hard to tell, right? Because it's like, you want to get married, but then there's problems with that, right? Like with habits. So are you guys like familiar with pair bonding at all? You guys, you are? Are you? No? So like I said, there's like the promiscuous 10%, just people that like to smash and pass. But you said that you want to get married one day. But in order to, I guess, get married and stay married, the two things that I've seen is to not stress each other out in arguments, meaning you raise blood pressure, you raise heart rate. What else? I mean, just like basically pissing each other off. So if you aren't doing that, that's good to stay married. And then on top of that, having regular sex. But like if you stimulate habits that are only helpful for instant gratification when it comes to sex, it's going to be hard when you have that one single guy to create a positive feedback loop of oxytocin and vasopressin. I'll explain that in a second, but you said that you get attached really quick, right? Yeah, like that's normal, you know?
Unfortunately.
No, like that's completely normal as a woman. So we release a lot of oxytocin, and that's a love hormone when we have sex with men. We also do this after we give birth too. It's really cute. And then men release a lot more vasopressin. So it's like if you're constantly engaging in short-term I guess I can say sex here.
Just Unicorn Things donated $100.
Can you boost the audio?
Ryan, your eyes are dreamy and I want to drown in them. With that voice, sexy AF. I could listen to you talk all night long. Even muted you sound great. You should do audiobooks. Any topic will do. You'd make a killing.
Yo, Unicorn, thank you for the big $100 soup chat, and thank you for the flattery and the endorsement. Much appreciated. Thank you, man. Continue, Allie.
It just makes it harder to stay faithful, you know? And I think like one of the reasons why I think I'm married today and how I'm very confident to come out and talk about my marriage, because if I thought my marriage was gonna like end overnight, I'd be really embarrassed talking about it online. But like my husband is the best sex I've ever had in my life, you know? And so it's like I get to have that whenever I want at a moment's notice. But if I had kind of been around the block more, then I might have already had the best sex of my life. And that's like a heavy thing for a woman to carry psychologically if you're in a relationship with a man and you're like, well, that guy hit it better. You know what I mean? So it's like, but the more men that you sleep with, the more likely that is to occur. Whereas like if you just kind of take the more monogamous route of kind of like what you're doing right now in college, then you have more of an opportunity to be sexually impressed by a man. You know what I mean? So it's just like getting into more positive habits that support monogamy. Because like the college life ends one day. You know, it's weird. Like you're in college, you think this is like your world, and then you forget that there's a whole other, you know, globe, country, planet out there. So to prepare ourselves for that once we graduate too.
Anybody have a response?
I don't know. I feel like now it's like...
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
It's like so normalized now. Like if you're like not hooking up with someone, then what are you doing? Like that's just what... I don't know. I feel like everybody in college is like now thinking. You're like...
Haram!
Whoa, what? Eric, is it just me or does it seem a little louder than normal? But I think it's weird when the TTS comes through. It's not so great. Would you like to elaborate a bit on that? So you said that it's just so normal in college.
Such a stigma around it, I guess. Like especially like your first year of college, or like being young in college, or just being young at all. It's like
stigma to not hook up.
No, to like wait. I don't know if I said it right, but like I don't know. I just feel like
if you're not in the streets, what's wrong with you?
Kinda, yeah. I just feel like it's so normalized right now to like be hooking up with whoever you want, like whenever you want, every weekend, every time you go out. It's just like get with someone, and that's just like I just feel like that's how it is right now, which is like. I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah, well, so just so you guys know, like y'all are all like, if you're sexually active in college, like you're probably sleeping with the same dudes. So like there's something really interesting. There's this guy, Robert Henderson, you should check out, like he has a platform too. So when you're on a college campus and there are more single women than there are single men have to play women's games, which means that they have to commit to us. But when there are, when we have to compete for a smaller pool of men, so like let's say that there's more men on campus and wait, I'm getting this wrong.
I think you just got the words a little mixed.
Yeah. So, okay, how can I put this?
If there's more women on campus.
If there's more women on campus, we have to compete for a small pool of men, right? So we have to play their game, which is sexuality. But if there's more men...
well, and also in college, more women are going to college too. So it's typically a sexuality game.
Okay, so if there's less men, women have to compete for the men, and then if there's more...
I don't see you getting stumped very often.
No, I'm trying to think about it. So I guess if there's more men, then they have to compete for a smaller pool of women, and then they have to commit to us more. Does that make sense?
Frankie,
yeah.